The characters of the Bible. One of the greatest delights when first reading the Bible was the utter normality of the characters in it. Actually, they were far worse than I could ever have imagined. Most uninformed in biblical studies think there is a saintly halo that is on top of every biblical figure. But that is a very bad mischaracterization of the Bible. The men and women were not just sinners of all sorts, but of the sexual sins as well, maybe even more so than the other so-called bad sins. Abraham had intimacy with the maid in Genesis 16:2-4. Jacob, or Israel, had 2 wives and 2 maids in Genesis 29-30. Reuben, this son of Jacob, had intimacy with his dad's maid in Genesis 35:22. Judah, this son of Jacob, had intimacy with the prostitute, was really his daughter-in-law, in Genesis 38:15. Tamar, Judah's daughter-in-law, dressed up as a prostitute to have intimacy with her father-in-law, in Genesis 38:15. Rahab helped deliver the spies of Israel from their enemy. She was a harlot, Joshua 2:1. King David, the most loved king, had many wives and killed a friend's son for his wife, Bathsheba, in 2 Samuel 11. Samson, this man struggled with lust of the eyes in a massive way. See Judges 14-16. Gideon, this judge of Israel, had 70 sons, not counting daughters, by many wives in Judges 8-30. King Solomon, this king suffered greatly from his unbridled lust. He had 700 wives and 300 concubines, 1 Kings 11:3. Solomon wrote 3 books of the Old Testament, one we call the Book of Wisdom. What becomes very noticeable for those of us who have studied pornography over the years is that these biblical figures are no different than what we have watched in videos. It sometimes has been so obvious to me that I have been led to say at times that pornography is a parody of the Bible. But not just pornography, all movies. The Bible is a very adult book, but most people in our day who have been raised in church have never gotten out of the kids' Sunday school ideas of the Bible and graduated into the big boys version with its rawness. A study in the Bible is a study on real life as we know it. There is no other kind. It surprises me that many are shocked by the kind of material in the Bible. But why wouldn't the bestseller of all time be true to what everyone on earth experiences? So we should not be shocked at the variety of varying relational situations in the Holy Word. The men and women in the Bible were real people with real issues and radical sexual desires. I, for one, love that. They're no different than you or I. They lusted just like me. Jesus is the one human in the Bible that really does get it right with the Father in heaven. So much so that the heavens open up on the day that John immerses him in the Jordan, and they hear, "This is my beloved Son, whom I am well pleased." What a moment of holiness that would have knocked us over if we were present. Surely this Jesus man had a godly ancestry, right? If you look at the previous section, you'll find that most of the names mentioned are in the lineage of Christ. Yes, that's right. Jesus had some pretty interesting people as great-great-great-grandpas and grandmas. These people had sex, and some of them had massive amounts of it. They got turned on, excited, and felt the need to find satisfaction in sexual ways, just like humans today. Though many would think the line of Christ was way too holy to ever show a blemish, the Bible says much, much different. Just like all of our family lines, Jesus too had one marked by much sexual variety.